Welcome back, Enlightened22 here, and since last episode, I've gotten a fair amount of mining done. As you can see, I've set up a beacon and did haste 2. So I'll show you my mining setup if you haven't ever seen speed mining before, basically with haste 2 and efficiency 5. So I've got 2 picks. I used this one, and as you can see, it's almost done, and this is what I mined out with it. Just as a quick demonstration, this is what happens when you have efficiency 5 and haste 2. And I wasn't using my efficiency 5. That's what happens. So it's a super quick way to just mine out large areas of blocks, get lots of blocks and lots of ores. So I'll quickly go over here and show you what I got. And I'll be needing all of these for my project coming up. So I've got this chest and a full double chest of stone and 10 extra stacks. These are my miscellaneous blocks that I got. Coal, iron, gold, which are pretty much useless since we have farms for all of those. And I'll run up this ladder and show you what else. So I got 12 diamonds, 8 lapis, and quite a bit of redstone. I'll mine these up and be right back with you. I just mined out all of this, and what did I get? I got lots of redstone. That'll leave me set for quite a while. 22 diamonds. I'll be using that in a second to go enchant up some tools, and a fair amount of lapis, which is really useful for the enchantments as well. Speaking of, I forgot to show you what I got, so I have an Unbreaking 3, Efficiency 5, and Silk Touch, and the same except Fortune 3. So basically the 2 best picks you can have in the game. So as far as picks are concerned, I'm set. Also show you the building materials that I've got so far for my base. This is more stone in addition to the double chest that's down there. I haven't moved that up yet. A little bit of cobblestone, 7 stacks. And some miscellaneous building materials. I'll need a lot of spruce wood, which you'll get to see why in just a minute. I'm back, and while you were away, while I was away, I got all of this cobblestone, a little bit more, and the big thing I got was all of this spruce wood, and a little bit of dark oak, a little bit more andesite, decent amount of fines. Right here we have all the materials we need to get building today. Except for fines. We'll still need to get a bunch more fines, but that'll be down the line. We're fine for now. So, what are we doing? We're going to be making an overgrown fort. So, just a piece of information that hit me as I was looking through some pictures. And what's the color palette? I'll walk you through sort of the base of my idea. So, color palette, I was thinking spruce logs, all the stone colors, well, these stone colors, and yellow hardened clay. The reason I chose yellow hardened clay was it seemed to go well with these colors right here. I tried I tried red, was a little bit too contrasting, and green, once I start adding vines and stuff, just blends in too much. So yellow was a nice contrast, but not too much. It works well. And the reason I chose spruce, a little bit darker log than oak logs, was just with this dark green, I felt the spruce logs contrasted a bit better, while dark oak was too dark. That's a lot. When choosing your color palette, you just have to take into account all those things, and lots of experimentation. If you've done it a bunch, though, you get used to it, so just practice, just see more. Oh, hey there. So yep, he's joined the game. He's on all the time. Let's run up here and I'll show you sort of the swamp. This is going to be mostly my biome. You'll see in a second, there's one build here, little one. I'll make sure to give them space if they want to continue building. But otherwise, this is the swamp. There's a flower forest over here. You can actually see the iron blocks right there. That's a flower farm. It has every flower in the game. It's a pretty awesome farm if I ever want flowers. This way is the community. Right across, there's like a little river here. On the other side is the community, roofed forest. There's a jungle here with a nice jungle village. And this is my place. This is going to be where we're building. You fool. Okay. So, I lied in my earlier video. I said like 100 wither skulls every 3 hours in our wither farm. It's only 2 an hour. But we can get up to 15. Alright, now that I did that tangent, let's continue on with the fort. So on this fort, I'm planning on building it in this area. Don't want to go here because there's a bunch of these huts that I don't want to take down. So, right here, sort of, there's this water and this water. I'm planning on doing in between here and sort of up to where I am over here. I'm just doing a lot of pointing. I'll go down off camera, clear out a bunch of these trees and lay out the floor plan, and I'll get back to you so that this actually makes sense. The fort's foundation has been set. I cleared out all the mountains, so as you just saw, there were hills here. I flattened out a bunch of land. I have quite a bit of dirt to place in this area to get it all flat, but I'll worry about that later. I got a bit tired of clearing out all the trees and placing so much dirt. I'll do that in the future. I just wanted to show you what I have to build. So, the spruce here, all these spruce logs, this is the outline of the fort. This is a lot bigger than I was expecting from my initial plans. But we'll make do. We have plenty of time. We'll get this done. A little bit bigger project than I thought. But that will be fine. It'll give us more to do. We can put more inside of it then. Let's get this started. I've built this in Creative. Well, I've built a single wall panel in Creative. So I have a bit of an idea. I'll try to build this on camera, see if I can remember it for you guys. I really like this design. And basic ideas, like I've said before, it's going to be cobblestone, stone brick, spruce wood, very common technique. What I'm doing here is to give depth. You just simply make bars or beams at some uniform distance. In this case, I have spruce, 5 blocks of stone spruce, and you push those out one, and it gives a significant amount of depth very easily just by doing that. So let's continue building and decide. What did I do? Okay. Sorry, just need to remember a few things. And it's harder to build and talk than I thought it would be, even when I already have the build planned. I'll get better at this as time goes on. I'm still new to doing this. Hopefully you can join me on this adventure of me building cool stuff and getting better at just recording and having fun with this. Okay, there we go. This is just a nice subtle, I always like doing these, you just add a little pocket inside, if the stair flips, with some detail in the back. Now of course this only works, like this sort of depth only works if you have a really big build, because this is already 1, 2, 4 blocks deep. So if you're doing a 12 by 12 house, 4 blocks deep means you have almost no room inside. But when you're doing something big like this, you can get away with that and make a lot bigger stuff. Probably should have ladders. I'll be doing that next. In the future. Okay, so I say so too much. Sorry about that. I'll try to get better with it. Let me step back. See this, if I remember. That goes there. I forgot how to build this. I'll get right back with you. And the finishing touches. Let me get right across here. It's easier to build these things in creative mode. And I really like how this turns out. You'll see in a second how this top little bit that I'm adding right now. Here we go. Let's clear out all of this cobble in front of it. And we'll be able to get a nice view of this whole build. Well, this whole wall. Yeah, what you saw, what you didn't see before, was... I did something. No, I didn't. Okay. I know what I need to do. Maybe go up here and add the floor. Because, of course, being a fort, you need to be able to walk on top of it. And I have some cool plans for what's going to be on top. This is going to be the floor of the fort, extending all out. I'm still debating I might do this. I'm not sure yet. Or I might add something like, make that go in. I don't know. I'll figure that out as time goes on. And I just broke that stair. But that's not the point. Here we are. The big things I'd like to point out, the couple things of inspiration that I really had and really liked, were this curve on the top that adds a lot of shape to it. I really like the feel of this. It just feels nice, and you'll see in a second when it gets all repeated down here, it really adds a lot of character to this rather than just having one flat line along the top. Plus the little bit of cobblestone and spruce wood showing through really helps. And in the next step, we'll actually get to making this all overgrown, which you'll see the difference. We'll get to that maybe in this episode, maybe next episode. We'll see. Oh, I did forget one other thing. There we go. Just adds a little bit extra. I like the wall sticking up there. Makes a little... emphasizes that curve a bit more. In the future, I'm not sure if you guys want me to, in the future I might go a little bit more into my ideas of how to build. All of that stuff I really like teaching people, and I at least think I'm good at teaching people how to build and sort of what my thoughts are behind it, and being able to explain that. For this, I'm not going to go super detailed, and I'll leave it at that. I'll cut and get back to you once I've built a bit more of this wall. Bit of building later, and about a quarter of this wall is done. I've done this whole loop around. I want to show you all of it, and one part of the diagonal. I do want to show you the diagonal. These wall sections are remaining identical to what I showed just a second ago, but the diagonal, my basic idea here, ooh, creepy sound. Okay, so diagonal is this. I can't speak. So I kept this sort of design and tried to put it on the diagonal, which, this is definitely my least favorite part. I really like this wall design. This is okay. Hopefully once we get it all overgrown looking, though, I'm going off the assumption that it's going to look good. We'll see that down the line. Definitely helps make it pop, but the basic ideas. So I took the themes here. My idea is this base, so the stairs go in. I'm going through this just so you can sort of see where my mind went and hopefully do this yourself or do something similar if you'd like. So I have this base with stairs, cobblestone, and andesite. That's my base, which as you can see over here, I kept that. Then I have these pockets. I'll call them pockets, divots, whatever, with the yellow hardened clay. Kept that. They have a little loop that exposes stone. Kept that. Loop with wood. And was kind of able to keep the loop in here. I think that's part of why I don't like it, is you lose this sort of half-circle smiley face on the top with the diagonal, which you have really nicely here. But I'll live. We'll live. It will do. One thing I wasn't clear about that I do want to explain now is this whole thing that we're building right now is just the foundation. This is the foundation for our fort. Bunch of stuff is going on top of it. Well, you saw before on that top view. We have a huge area to work with. So this is basically just the surrounding outside perimeter of the fort. And yeah, one other thing I want to point out, especially at night, it's not night right now, but it does get really dark. So I'm thinking about replacing this yellow hardened clay with redstone lamps. Yeah, the glowstone that's powered. Decided on that, so that's bright, and I decided on glowstone rather than like jack-lanterns would look bad. Normal glowstone, I like the black lines of the lamps, those would be really nice, and prismarine is just completely out of characteristics for this. Unfortunately, I don't have all the stuff to make the glowstone lamps, so we'll be using yellow clay for now. But if those are changed, next time you see this, that is why. And, yep, I'll get to it, continue working on the perimeter. Well, since this last clip, I've been working here for a few hours, probably about 4 hours, I'd say. Still haven't finished the wall, as you can see, so that didn't happen. But the biggest thing I did, I finished all these pillars, but the big thing is I filled in all this dirt here, which doesn't look like much, but it was probably placing about 15 stacks of dirt, which took quite a while. Also, I ran out of spruce logs that I was going. Now, fortunately, Mew was really nice, came over, helped me grind out, and got me another 6 stacks or so of spruce logs with his help. So, that saved me quite a bit of time, but the big thing was doing the dirt. And because of that, I won't be able to finish this wall this episode. So instead, I decided to finish up with just telling you a bit about myself. Like, my real life self, not my Minecraft self. So, there's been a lot of changes in my life recently, which has been good and a little bit stressful, a lot going on. Biggest thing is I just moved. So, moving's big. Moved out, was living with my parents. All independent. Now I'm independent, living on my own, got an apartment with my roommate, which has been going really well. Well, I'll actually tell you the fun story first. Well, an adventuresome story. When I just moved, I'll let you guys know, I moved to Colorado for climbing, because I'm a climber. Yay, learning about me. And how I did it, I didn't have an apartment or job. I just got in a van and drove. Made it to Colorado. Once I was there, I basically just lived off my van and looked for an apartment, used the library computer. If you're not in the US, I'm not sure about what country you're in, but in the US, if you have public libraries, they have access to computers in all of them. So I used between that and just public Wi-Fi, was able to search Craigslist. That's noisy. Okay, I was able to search Craigslist and get a job. Well, get a job and an apartment. Job kind of went through because it was working as a UPS preloader, United Postal Service, which is extremely, extremely intensive. It was 3 a.m. to 9 a.m. So, horrible hours, and the big thing, the hours I was able to deal with, I could do weird hours. The biggest thing was just the time, not the time. Like I said, I can deal with the hours. The big problem was the exhaustion. Like, I actually collapsed, legs just gave out from under me, and I'd consider myself a pretty fit guy, but it was a whole nother level of intensity. I'm sure I could have gotten used to it, but I wouldn't be able to do climbing, which is the entire reason I moved. I wouldn't be able to do that on top of it. Plus, it wasn't even giving me a living wage, because it was only 5 hours a day. So that was a problem, so that lasted about a week and a half. Oh, I don't know if I already mentioned, but I did already have an apartment at that point. I lived out of the van for about a week. It was an interesting week, definitely an adventure. Wouldn't want to do it again, but I'm glad I experienced it. It was definitely worth experiencing, trying out something new. I highly recommend. Like, my life was feeling pretty stagnant before, and yeah, it was nice trying something new, getting out of my comfort zone. I liked it. But going back to the job, so got the job, got the apartment, quit the job because it was bad. It sucked. It was rough, and I couldn't climb. Didn't climb for about 2 weeks. Well, previously I was climbing about 4 days a week. So I quit the job, and I've been climbing a lot since then, playing a lot of Minecraft, and that works out really well for starting YouTube. I can do a big grindy project like this and have no issues. Yay. But just today I interviewed for a job which will be making me quite a bit of money. Not a ton, but for just having a high school diploma and starting out, it's really good. And it's full-time, which is hard to get a full-time job. They can be challenging to get sometimes. So that's that deal. And interviewed for the job, pretty much I'm going to get it as long as I complete the background check. Well, not background check, complete the drug test, and they're calling to references, making sure they're good. Basically, I've got the job because I know my references will be good and I'm not going to fail the drug test. So, pretty much have the job. I'm not sure exactly when, but I'll probably be starting work in about a week. What does that mean for YouTube? Well, one, I wanted to tell you that because I'm really excited to have a job. Money's good. I won't have as much time. And that's where it comes to YouTube. That's a relatively big deal for this because right now I can just hammer out. Not sure what's a good term. Whatever. But I could just do these big projects, something like this. I have 8-10 hours a day if I want. I can spend as much time a day as I want on this pretty much. Just because I have no other commitments. But once I get a job in a week, I'll have real life and 40 hours of work a week. I won't be able to put quite as much time into YouTube. But I am hoping to still release as many videos. The only difference is I won't be able to do quite as big, quite as grindy of projects. At least won't be able to do those constantly because I simply won't have time to do those unless you only want a video every week or two. Instead, I'll be doing some smaller projects, which actually, once I build this, I'll have a lot of small projects planned to incorporate into here, which is part of why I'm doing this and trying to finish this up as soon as possible for you guys and for myself so that, I can keep putting out good videos. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.